Hello friends, this is a small Python Django assignment. Right now what you can see over here is I have got one employee tracker. The way the thing would be working is, first there should be a nav bar and there should be some specific routes. By default the URL should be like this: localhost colon 8000. There should not be an associated string over here. When I will click on the register tab, a new template should appear where the nav bar should be there. Take a note, with the change of the route the nav bar should not get dissolved, it should be there. So when I tap on the register, there is a change in the route and the nav bar is still there. Similarly, if I go to check in and out, nav bar is still there, changing the route, but the content of the template got varied. And lastly, there is a route called history. The nav bar is still there, the path got changed and the content also got changed. So this is how the layout should look like. So let's come to the register, and my application is already connected with Postgres. Let me show you that. Here is a Postgres table. Let me refresh it. So now what I will do is that expand it. By default there are two tables associated. One is employee present inside the app called employee underscore app. Let me click over here to see whether there is any existing employee or not. Yes, there is one existing user is already there, or employee is already there. Take a note, this is the primary key, but the primary key is of type UUID, not just ID. I repeat, the primary key should be UUID, where alphabets and numbers should be together, because the primary key should be pretty large and it should be unique as well. And I have also got one field called date of birth. It's just to check, nothing special about it, but this one is very important. There is another table called attendance. Let's come and let's reload this table to see whether there is any entry available or not. No, there is no entry available. Now if you see very minutely, in the employee table the employee ID is the primary key, PK, whereas in the attendance table it has its own primary key, but at the same time it also has a foreign key. See, employee underscore ID, that is UID. So this is the foreign key and this is a primary key of itself. So right now there is no data available, as you can see over here. So let's first do a registration, because one employee already there. So let me register one more time. So let's give my name as Swaroop, last name is Shah, email ID is swaroop@gmail.com, and let's choose a password. Let's choose a date of birth. Well, for the time being I can choose as you want. Suppose I'm choosing anything arbitrarily. Suppose I'm choosing 1992, suppose 2nd September, and click on the save button. Look over here, the employee created and it is showing the ID. So ID need to be shown. So what ID I have got? The last three characters are 9C6. Okay, let's come to the table. Let's reload the table, and here it comes. Let me expand the width of this. 9C6. So once the employee got created, this employee was been forwarded to the front end. That's the reason you are able to see this. Later on what I will do is that, well, this particular assignment I want to extend it further. In the next part of the video, or in one of the video, what I will be doing is that once the employee registration is done, the employee will be forwarded an email, and in that email this particular employee ID will be mentioned. So the next time, if the employee ID, of course such a big string, I won't be able to remember that, so from the email it will copy the employee ID and paste it. Okay, this is something what I have decided. So now the employee got created and we can see in the table successfully it got registered. Very good, so far so good. Now what we'll do is that we'll come to the check-in time, check in and out. So here I'm supposed to give the email ID. I need to give the email ID. Now let me show you even the source code also a bit. So I have got my project as employee tracker, and I have got one app called employee app. So if I expand over here, I have got the URL. Let me show you the URLs. So here I did the registration, so check-in check-out time is there, history is also there, okay, for the time being. So in check-in check-out, as you can see, as over here there are two buttons are there. So at once I will be checking in, at another time I will be checking out, okay. So for that reason, this is the route that is going to work. There is no two separate route, there is only one separate route. So for check-in also this route will work, for checkout also this route will work, okay. In my project I have got Ajax, so let me show you even the Ajax part as well. If I open the Ajax, look over here, I have got this is for the register option, that is already there. This is for the check-in and this is for the checkout. So there are two separate routes are there, check-in checkout. But what you will be observing is I have got only one view method. So let me open the view. See, there is only one view method is there. So this view method is working both for check-in as well as for checkout, okay. So when in the URL part of the Ajax, I have to do in such a way so that the check-in and checkout both will be done by one of the function based view. I am not supposed to write two function based view, for check-in one and for checkout another. I don't want to do that. Rather you have to do it in one particular function based view. So that's something what you have to keep in mind, okay. So now let's go and do the check-in time. So I have my email ID over here, swaroop@gmail.com. so let's try out with this, or I can go for Peter also. We'll do both, okay. So let me go write swaroop@gmail.com and let me click on the check-in time, check-in button. The moment I do that, look over here, the date is the time is I did not show the date, but I need to show even the date also. Fine, I will modify the next time, I will show even the date also. But what I am emphasizing is right now the time is 6:57 AM, and look over, it's showing very neat and clean 6:57 AM. So this is what I want. It should not show you some string which is not readable. That should not be the case. So please make sure it should be of this format. Now if you come to the table, if you go to the attendance, so let me open the attendance sheet over here, and if I click over here, see the employee whose ID is this 9C6. So 9C6, that employee ID information came over here. At the time of login, at the time of check-in, if you notice, I just gave the email ID. I didn't give the ID of the user. I didn't give, okay. I just gave the email ID. Well, that you can also give the email ID. You can give also the option. You can keep an option for taking the employee ID also, that you can take. But for the time being, what I did is that for the easy readability, so that you don't have any problem to read the ID, I gave with the email ID. So if you provide the email ID, you will get email ID is also getting saved as a foreign key. But at the same time, email ID is taking and it is replacing the email ID with the employee ID as a foreign key in the attendance table, right? So checkout time is still not entered because I did not click on the checkout time. Very good. Now let's log in Peter also. So let's come over here. Let's go for Peter@gmail.com, and let's click on check-in button. As I do that, what is the time? 6:59 AM exactly. So let's come over here and let's reload the tab. See, even Peter is also logged in with what is the Peter email ID? Peter ID is 10DD. Let's come over here and see it's 10DD. So that means it is successfully able to register both the employees. Now we'll go for the checkout time, okay. So let's come over here. Let me refresh the page, and suppose I want to check out Peter first. So I write Peter@gmail.com. It's your choice, whichever user you feel, you can go for checkout also. So click over here. Yeah, checkout successfully, and the time is exactly 7 AM. Look over here, it's 7 AM. So let's come to the your Postgres ID. Let's click over here and see the checkout time of Peter got inserted successfully, but the checkout time of Swaroop@gmail.com is not yet been done. So let's do that one now. let's come over here, let's reload the page. And what if by default the checkout of Peter takes place right now? Well, Peter is not yet in. So if Peter tries to check in again, will it work? Let me see that. Peter should have been checked in, right? Because Peter is not checked in. But if Peter tried to check out, see, you are not checked in. That validation also you need to keep it in mind. So checkout should work if and only if the following employee is checked in. In case the employee is not checked in but still try to check out, that will not work. So this validation one has to keep it in mind. So now let's come over here and let's try to check out swaroop@gmail.com, and let me click on the check button, and Swaroop has successfully at 7h 1 minute, and it's morning time AM. So let's come over here and let's reload the tab and see the checkout of Swaroop is also done successfully. So far so good. Okay, so that was a part of check-in checkout. And lastly, what comes to the history I am yet to create, but just one portion I have done. Look over in the history, I have got a drop down. So all the employees that exist, that should appear in the drop down by the name of the employee with the first name and last name. I repeat, as you are creating new employee, that employee name should come over. So right now I've got 2 employees. So what if I register one more employee? Suppose I'm registering Raj Aryan. Email is raj@gmail.com. I'm choosing an arbitrary date of birth. Suppose I'm choosing something for 31st December. Click over here, employee ID got created. So let's come to the table, let's come to the employee, let's reload the tab. See, Raj Aryan also got created. So now if I come over here and if I click on the history tab, in the drop down you will see Raj Aryan as well. Now what I want is, when the user will tap select one of the option, automatically the data should come over here. In this page there should not be any button. Please keep it in mind, in this particular page there should not be any button. On the change of the option from here, the value should come. Okay, so that is the task I am giving. In my next video we will work on this part as well. Fine, thank you very much.